What you doing?
Just been on a killing spree.
Woo! From 1987. Yeah, look at that beaut. Limited to 666 copies.
That's a good gimmick. I like that.
That is a very good gimmick.
Yeah.
I wish every movie... No, actually, that would take away the specialness.
Right.
Yeah. If every movie had 666 copies, it would get a little mundane.
Would.
It would get a little old. It would feel almost like get on with it. You know? Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Of course, I'm talking about some things that I think about Killing Spree. This is from 87, directed by Tim Ritter.
It's Tim. You say Tim Ritter.
Like we're supposed to know who he is.
Yeah.
Now I do feel it fair to say, because I feel like most people who are going to look this one up would probably notice this, but it is very funny, and I will point it out, but I want to give credit where credit is due. So my friend and I just stumbled across this movie on Amazon, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I picked up a copy of it. And after I watched it, I kind of, I like to watch reviews after I've seen a movie to sort of see, like, what people's point of view on it is and stuff like that. Maybe interact a little and talk a little bit. But that was one thing that everyone was bringing up about this movie, is the way that it's worded, on the back of the film, like with your credits and all that other good stuff. It's like we're supposed to know who the fuck Tim Ritter is.
Oh, okay.
But we don't.
No, but
yeah, so I just wanted to say I'm not the first one to point that
that's
out.
also
or anything,
a
but
good
yeah.
gimmick.
Yeah, it is. I
It's
feel
like movies that start with an introducing Tim Ritter.
right.
Like, oh, introducing.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the only thing you ever saw him in.
And it also works too on like such a fucking like elitist level. Do you know what I mean? Like, because people are like, Tim Ritter. Where do I begin?
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Where do I
to
start?
be the guy that doesn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And then they say a lot of things like, well, let's see, what is my favorite? And they don't know.
Yeah, it does make me think that in our circle of people, people that like the kind of movies that we've come to like, there's a lot of snobbery there, and there's a lot of like, oh, I know some shit you don't know. There's this one movie. There's this movie called Wicked World. You know what I mean? Like, there's this movie called Killing Spree.
Yeah. I don't
know. I don't.
Sometimes
interact
I'm
with
guilty.
people.
Sometimes I'm guilty.
Yeah.
It's like I was
am.
telling you guys a while back. I was at McKay's. You guys probably hear us talk about that place a lot. The local used movies and books and all that other good stuff. And I'm in the horror section, as I always do there, looking for some fresh hits, some fresh new drops. And I hear these guys talking, and I don't know. It's just it's their mannerisms. It's how they're speaking. Like, oh, I know a excellent filmmaker. Have you guys ever heard of a Clive Barker? and I just wanted to look over and be like, the fuck, or something, because that's how I talk. The fuck. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, I shouldn't be like that, because everyone has to start somewhere. This is like the future of little horror fans. There's still shit that I learn every fucking day.
Oh, there's always more.
Always more.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah, there's so much shit. Anyway, you want to talk about the movie a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would just like to start off by saying that this is okay, let's see how to word this. It's one of my favorites, but also one of the most disappointing that I've seen.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because, we've got such a, and we'll get into describing the movie here in a moment, but it has such a strong, I think like 3/4 of the movie. 3/4 of the movie are like so fucking fun. It's one of those where it's an intentional comedy, but it works really well.
That's one of the main points I wanted to make.
Yeah.
This is actually intentionally funny.
Yeah,
they do it in such a kind of over the top cheesy way. It ends up working, and I think a lot of it's just the main character.
Oh, he's great.
His maniacal laughter, and
Yeah, very
his eyes
spastic.
bugging out, and
Yeah.
just the way he just delivers his line in a very kind of harsh
Yeah.
kind of manner. Just talks at people.
Oh yeah, it's hysterical. He does really good at it. The script and everything. Just assuming that it was read line for line or whatever. I'm sure some of it was probably kind of improv, but I think it works really well. I think one of the reasons it works as well as it does is because like it is funny. And it's in in an intentional way, but like when you put your gore and stuff like that in it, which obviously is a low budget film, I think I said $75,000, something like that. So that's on like the way low, side of things, and they have a lot of blood and guts and some fun little practical effects and shit like that. And anyway, I think it's cool. I don't like it when a silly horror movie or a horror comedy comes out and there's no focus or attention on the blood and guts. Either that or they make everything so fucking stupid. I think this one has some pretty cool scenes. You got some like scalping going on, some fucking smashing heads in and stuff like that. And I think that it's cool, Yeah. So you mix that with the comedy, and I think it works pretty well. But the ending, that's my problem. Which, like I said, we'll get into the storyline, but I think they really, really, really made a terrible decision with how to end this movie.
Yes.
Not only do I dislike the choice, it's almost as if they just kind of gave up. You know,
trivializes everything else that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of But anyway. Let's get into kind of what happens in this movie.
Sure. Do you want? I've been talking up a storm for a moment. You want to?
You've got what's the main character's name?
Tom.
Tom. You've got Tom. He's a working man. He's a airplane mechanic. He got married and he told his wife, "No working for you. Stay home. I'm the working man. Stay home."
Yeah.
And he has his buddy over for dinner, Ben, which is weird. Like I say, it's his best friend, and he just fucking hates the guy.
Yeah, best friend was the best man at his wedding. They've been blowing him off for months, and the wife has invited him over. Or no, I'm sorry. Actually, Tom did. Tom made the plans to have him over for dinner, and then I guess just forgot.
She's like, I made his favorite pork chops. He's like, I fucking hate pork chops.
Yeah. So we're kind of getting a little glimpse into Tom's life. The guy's just kind of, he's ran over a lot, but it's like he puts himself in that lane.
Well, he does get his pay cut by 40%.
Yeah, that's true. He does.
There is kind of rough things happening to him.
His boss / best friend is kind of an asswagon. Yeah. He's just a very he's just a very disgusting person.
He's got his new 18-year-old girlfriend that he's banging, and this guy's like in his 50s.
Yeah. Just gross all around. So basically, the story starts kicking in with. So we've got Tom working, doesn't want the wife to work. Well, she's kind of worried about them financially because they've got all this stuff they have to take care of. It's, new house, newlyweds. I think it said 6 months or something like that. 5 or 6 months. But anyway, he starts finding this little black book laying around with some stories in it that's from her diary, he suspects, and they're all like erotic stories. They're all stories about her. It always happens to be a coincidence, like I had to have someone come over and work on the wiring.
Yeah.
And then in this little black book,
Yeah, so
she
the
would
first
be fucking
one
him.
the first one is after. So what happens is they're having their dinner with his friend. He goes off to do something and comes back, and she's like up close talking to Ben, like they're being real chatty and close, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of my house." Next day, he's back from work. His wife is gone. He picks up the book and he sees this detailed thing about how she had banged Ben the next day. He had come over, and that kind of is where the killing spree pops off.
Yep.
You see Ben show up right after he reads this. Ben shows up at his door with his 18-year-old girlfriend, and they've been partying all day.
God, what an obnoxious little fuck too.
Yeah,
Like,
she's like, talking shit to him.
oh my God. And it makes me wonder if this is just because I have got, like, I look back on myself when I was younger, and I know I was a little asshole, but I don't ever recall acting quite like that. You know, I never once fucked a 60-year-old man. I'm just saying, kids in 1987 have absolutely zero respect.
No respect. Before he murders Ben, though, that night he has this dream, and I think it's one of the best scenes in the movie, if not the best scene.
Yeah, I can't believe it. But I actually sort of forgot about that one for a second.
This, can you describe?
Sure. So he's having a dream about his wife and Ben in bed together, and it's like he walks into the kitchen, where they're having dinner together and everything, and his buddy Ben is laid out on the I'm going to quit saying his buddy. Ben, because he's an asshole, is laid out on the table, wife on top of him, food next to them and everything. And he's just talking shit, basically saying like, oh, I don't know, basically like, why wouldn't I fuck her or something?
And then he says, and she gives really good head.
And she gives really good head. And then we have one of the coolest, in my opinion, not even of just this movie. I think the idea in general is really funny. And kind of mildly creepy looking, I guess. I'll go as far as to say that. It basically just looks like her head is like it's just basically one huge set of lips. Like, so all across here and down here is this big swollen inflatable lips, basically, and it's her just sucking literally on top of his noggin. Yeah, we have a cum shot and everything.
It just starts coming out the sides. It was at that point I was like, yes, this movie is for me right now. I fucking love this movie.
That's all it takes.
I love that. It was so good.
And it is, in so many ways this movie is like that. Once again, I can't stress enough like how effective the humor is.
And then right after that's with the first murder is it's so funny. Ben and the girlfriend are there. She goes upstairs. He follows her up.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first murder. It just comes out of nowhere. He kind of peeks over this kind of balcony, his crazy eyes, and then fucking holds up her head.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking shit. He throws it at him, hits Ben in the head, knocks him out. And we see him like, that's you too, shit. He is beating Ben to death with his girlfriend's head. That was so damn funny.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Allergies.
So the way the movie plays out as far as these scenes go is you always know when he's reading one of the stories, or is about to go on a killing spree, because we get like this filter change. It's like or lights or something.
Pink lights. Yeah. And that's like his madness is kicking in. I like that effect. I like. Oh,
it's hysterical, especially when you do it, because you'll just have like that scene, especially that you're talking about, where he's on top of the staircase and stuff, looking down, and you just see his furry little fucking head and his eyes. I don't know. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's like, here, hand me that right there, the movie.
Yeah.
He's like, he's got the Notebook.
But yeah, I would have to. I don't know. I'm not gonna do favorites on kills. I'm not gonna do those. But I'm always down for a good solid fan kill.
That was hilarious. He attaches
machetes
onto the fans and lures back the repairman.
Mm-hmm.
He screams something about, how about a little off the top or something. Picks him up
and of course I feel like, I don't know if we worded this correctly or not, but it's every story that he reads. he wants to kill that person. Did we say that already?
Yes, yeah. He's like he doesn't want he doesn't want to do anything to his wife. He's like he has to protect her from these men.
Yeah.
So every guy he reads a story in their book, every guy he's got to kill. And at one point he's like 3 in one day. How can you do this?
Yeah, it's too much.
it's a lot of work.
Would you have a pretty funny little dynamic between Tom and their neighbor, little old lady who keeps kind of popping in? We're actually introduced to her really early on in the movie. She comes over and you can just tell she's just one of those nosy neighbors. That's it. She's the one that's always pestering you and always needs something.
Steals his magazine
steals his magazine, which goddamn, this movie like really fucking promotes Fangoria.
Is that all these older movies doing that? Is that just them trying to get into Fangoria?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good guess. I honestly don't know.
Or are they all just fans?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it could be any number of things. Either people that are affiliated with the magazines or people that are just huge fans of them. Anything to get into. I don't know. I feel like it could be. It could be any number of things.
It might be any single number of many different things.
I mean, there are a lot of numbers.
Could be any of them. You think, don't it?
I'd speculate it would be at least 2 of those numbers.
At least 2. 2 out of any.
Any number, yeah. But no more than 2.
That just beat all.
Lord willing and the creek don't rise. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and let's talk some more about the old lady neighbor. Because she has caught on to what Tom is doing. She's seen him. She has watched him kill the lawnmower boy, who is like the most typical fucking just wannabe skater, surfer guy. Like, I'm here to mow your yard, lady. Kind of a deal. So she watches Tom bury him alive, stick a sock in his mouth while he's screaming, and then chop off his little fingers and stuff. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. Buried him in the ground. Killed the lawnmower boy with his own lawnmower.
Stuffed him in a barrel and lit him on fire.
And then, actually, I think that was the guy with the hat.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The cowboy hat guy.
You're right.
Anyway,
Sorry.
she sees this shit happening.
Yeah,
she comes over. She's like, I want to fucking, you're going down. And he's like, ugh, and he grabs a hammer and he's like, oh, I'm going to kill her, And then she's like, or, you could help me. You can let me in on the action. And I want my husband dead. He's a pain in my ass. And for a second, you think old Tom's going to bite.
Yeah.
You think he's going to take it. And actually, I feel like that may have been a better direction. Maybe. I feel honestly like anything could be better. Would have been better. But so this is cool, though. This is probably the most graphic killing scene. He takes his hammer and he just swings it up, hits her right underneath the jaw.
Hammer right into the bottom of the jaw.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. Ripped the whole front of her face off. You got, something from the side just spewing blood out, and it was super cool.
Yeah, it was great.
And then, of course, he continues to bash her face in.
Yeah, I like that. He's like just mashing this like pulpy mass of stuff or whatever, and he lays down next to it, and then he's just sort of like pawing in her skull.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like playing with it and laughing. Mm-hmm. That was great.
I really do think with most scenes like that, I feel like that was just that guy. I feel like that was, because there was too much that seemed just either he is the greatest fucking actor who has yet to be discovered, or he's just really good at coming up with stuff on the fly. It seemed way too natural,
Yeah, it was good.
Seemed too natural.
Very natural.
He's done this before.
Method actor. There'll be a Netflix series about him soon.
What? Yeah.
What the fuck's that guy's name?
Tim Ritter's shadow.
Is that Tim Ritter?
No. Tim Ritter was in the movie though.
Is it the guy with the fake name? What was that? Teflon something?
Oh yeah, there were some weird names in here. Okay, you can.
Guess we'll have to figure that out later because
Well,
it's
you-
not showing anything
You
on
can
here.
fast forward this. Asbestos Felt.
Asbestos Felt.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tom Russo. Asbestos Felt.
Yeah, I was trying to find his real name.
Asbestos Felt.
That can't be his real fucking
Oh, it is. He's born. He's born that way.
Okay.
Yeah. His daddy. Pepto Bismol felt.
Tip Felt.
Tip felt. What? Mesothelioma felt. COVID felt.
Oh man. No,
AIDS
don't
felt.
go that far.
No?
Not
Okay.
COVID felt.
Well, so yes, this is where a movie starts to go downhill. Not only does it get excruciatingly, you get excruciatingly long sequences of shots.
Too much time following the wife around.
Yeah.
Doing her thing.
We also we get into in my opinion, another just really terrible decision, which is to kind of turn this into a zombie movie.
Oh man, yeah, that's the crux of this whole thing. That's really where we're going.
Yeah.
And as soon as that happened, I thought about the Vineyard a little bit, where we were like, does this make it a zombie movie?
Mm-hmm.
Now this definitely had more zombie action than the Vineyard did.
It did.
But it does just out of nowhere. So he's buried all these bodies in his backyard, and then out of nowhere, one is crawling out of the ground, and it's got like a thing. And this is really make sure you see it, like this little sign that says toxic waste. Caution, toxic waste, or whatever. And then, we got zombies, talking zombies, and they're like kind of sarcastic, annoying zombies.
Oh yeah, you've got the one that's controlling the. So it's all the dead bodies, obviously. So the one, the old lady, like she's got someone's hand in her back that's like puppeteering her, and just a bunch of
yeah.
It's a weird noise. I got like a rattle in there. There we go, I got it. But anyway, yeah, I just think it was I don't know.
It was weak.
I don't know what
Why?
I would say to do to like we were discussing before we started. I mean, this was a director's cut, so it had some extended footage, 15 minutes as a matter of fact. That could have been easily gone. And really, I just kind of feel like, because there's a scene where we have the wife and Tom are basically trying to dupe the zombies, and they've came up with a plan like, okay, we're going to tell them that we're going to give them you being the wife. And when we get in the living room and I act like I'm going to kill you, we're going to head straight for the door. This is the only way the zombies are going to back away and let Tom go, is they feel like they're going to get the revenge on him if he kills his wife in front of them. So they get downstairs, and he decides to hack his own head off.
Which, by the way, they precede the zombies down the stairs and then sit down on the couch and wait.
Yeah, they could have just ran out the front door.
And yes, and he's got the hacksaw, and then he acts like he's going to cut her throat, and then he saws his own throat and kills himself.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the end.
No, you're right. You're right. Go ahead.
I mean, she runs away, and then he pops out of the porch.
Yeah.
I was really bummed out by the end of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one where it was like, starting off, I was like 5. This is a five buckets, and then it was like 4, and then it was like 3.
Yeah.
The ending can't ruin all the other great stuff in it, but it's definitely a letdown. I don't like supernatural cop-outs in movies. Any kind of movie, when suddenly it's a ghost. The whole movie, it's been this, or, just it's like a reverse Deus Ex Machina. It's like it's not the God's hand coming down and saving it. It's like Satan's hand just coming up and slapping it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we don't need to resolve this plot in a thoughtful, interesting way. Let's just make it be some kooky supernatural stuff. And, you know, it would have been much more interesting to see him descend completely into madness and fucking kill his wife, just start killing, you know, kill 100 people or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of different things you could do, but
Yeah.
suddenly zombies.
Yeah, basically, I mean, I really do mean it. We're basically anything. Like, I was thinking, you know, towards the end there, even though I feel like this is kind of a cop out as well, I even would have been happy with like the stereotypical, like, you know, if you notice right before the zombie stuff really starts kicking in, we get that light again on the screen. And for a moment, I doubted myself. I was like, maybe the ending is different than I thought it was. I wasn't wrong. But I was hoping like maybe even, oh, you know, what if this is him like creating a story now? You know what I mean? Like he writes a zombie thing or something. Even these, you know, like I said, I feel like those things, it has a feeling to me, that idea does, of like a sitcom episode where it's like a dream. And I've always hated those. I've hated those episodes, but I feel like even something like that would have worked in this movie's benefit as opposed to the zombie stuff. Like it almost just feels like they really, really did need more runtime or something. And I think the extra 15 minutes, I mean, director's cut stuff half the time, in my opinion, is kind of stupid anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I appreciate seeing something the way that it was intended to be seen, but I think sometimes, and I could be completely wrong, but I think sometimes they just, you know, take a bunch of B-roll, you know, that no one's ever seen before, say, oh, it's unrated because it's never been rated in this full version before, and here you go. And I don't know. It was completely unnecessary.
It's like really popular authors, like guys that have been around a long time. It's so, like I'm thinking of one in particular, one of my favorites of all time, Neil Stephenson.
Mm-hmm.
His more recent books have just become bloated messes, and it's like, and there's like a lot of extra shit in there that doesn't need to be there, and it's like they've gotten so far like there's no editor that will tell them, you know, you need to dial this back a little bit. But
Yeah.
anyway, obviously this guy's not Tom Ritter. I mean, he is Tom Ritter, but he's not a he's not a Scorsese.
He's no Scorsese.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It was a, as in there was a reason that shit was edited. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah,
because...
Oh yeah, please don't take me seriously. I was.
I know. Like, make me re-explain this. I'm like questioning what the fuck I even said, man.
No, I'm sorry.
Messes with me.
You've got Tim Ritter and Scorsese. Okay, well here's the deal. I guess we'll go ahead and start kind of wrapping.
Oh yeah, but let me.
Just
real quick. Something I forgot I was going to add in. Like,
sure.
Even possible ending, like, the wife comes back home and he's gone insane, and it becomes a little mini slasher movie where he's chasing her, she fights back. Kind of thing, and then she kills him at the end or whatever. Something.
Yeah,
like
that would have been cool.
Would have been better than zombies, but yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. All in all, though, I do have to say that I don't think the ending was enough to drag it down for me. It is a huge letdown at the end. I do agree. So I'm trying to be fair about it, and because the goal, I guess, is to rate the movie. And not just parts of the movie. Mm. So 3.5, I would go with, and all of that is just in the first 3/4 of the movie. So, like I said, I totally could have gone with a different ending. It was, even if they wanted to keep what they did, if it just would have been, cut so much, like. that scenes with the zombies getting out of the graves and stuff. I mean, this is no exaggeration. You know, we're talking probably 7 minutes, 7-8 minutes worth of runtime or
It's
something.
not that long, but
God damn, it felt like it.
feels that long. Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely needed to be edited, and then they're talking like the zombies are talking in the hall back and forth.
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah.
it's just like, you know, you could almost make that work if they had literally just cut the zombies in at the very end like a little joke. You know, you see movies do that shit.
Yeah,
Where it's
yeah, that
like,
would have been good.
you know, but
Yeah, that's another thing too. While we're talking about, or you were mentioning sound there. Now, obviously, like I said, bringing up again the fact this is super low budget, but whew, man, some of that, well, a lot of your sequences where he's imagining what's happening between his wife and the guys and stuff. For whatever reason, it's like they just didn't take the time to, even go in and have someone dub over the lines. The dialogue is, you can't hear it. I mean, which I think is funny because there's some really, some pretty blatant points in the movie where it's like, well, clearly on like a soundstage or something, reading some lines.
there's
Like,
one point the music is so loud, it's completely
it drowns it out, and it just, once again, I guess the only reason I bring that up is to not like kick a dog while it's down or anything, or make fun of the movie or pinpoint stupid stuff about it. Once again, though, it's just a sign of laziness, I think, where I really do. I feel like the more that we're talking about it, the end of this movie was just, it was just lazy. I feel like it totally could have come up with something better.
Yeah, I think maybe that stuff in the end comes down to time and money. And it's
I'm
like
sure it does.
you got what you can, what you have, but I mean at the same time, I mean the zombie shit, that was a lot of money. They did a lot of makeup and stuff for that, and so it's they could have made better choices. But you said 3.5.
Yeah, I'll go with 3.5.
I'm kind of between 3 and 4, so I guess I'll agree with you. 3.5. If they just bumped up that end a little bit, done something a little bit more, I would have gone. Hell, I was close to 5 near the beginning. I was like, shit, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And it just kind of let me down a little bit overall, but it's still a lot of fun. I definitely recommend seeing it.
Oh yeah, it's great. I would also recommend. I don't know if Patrick would.
Who knows?
No one will. He won't even know.
No, we won't ever know.
No one will ever know. Yeah, I don't know why. The one guy had that hat with the boa. Yeah. Why would he do that?
Patrick, you're gonna get this every time you're not here. This is just your punishment.
Oh yeah. Well, my name's Patrick. I'm a sack of shit. I can't though. Every time I joke like that, it hurts my heart.
Yeah.
I love the little bastard.
Yeah. We all do.
Some say love
Is a